Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to Sofa Reviews. Today we're watching Rollerball, the new shit one.
Released in 2002, it's John McTiernan's remake of the 1975 classic about a dystopian future.
While the first film was about corporations controlling the world and numbing the minds of the masses with a violent game, which also highlighted the frailty and futility of the individual, the remake is about tits or explosions or something.
So we start with some kids having an illegal street race in San Francisco.
And you can tell it's a stupid idea because they've had to heavily edit the entire scene to disguise the fact they blatantly would have crashed by now.
We're introduced to Chris Klein, who is sadly our hero of the movie, playing Jonathan.
You almost got me killed, asshole!
Yeah, you almost broke the law in this illegal street race. I'll kill you for that.
So his friend, Marcus, shows up to save him from the police, somehow knowing exactly where he would be.
They have a little chat and catch up, and Marcus tries to recruit him to Rollerball.
Marcus explains that he's doing it for his kids, which kind of begs the question. He's a black guy, he has a family, he's the friend of the main character. He's not going to survive this movie, is he?
Besides, it's a place where even a doofus-ass white boy like you can get laid.
Is that right?
Yeah, poor countries full of prostitutes.
Jonathan turns down the offer only to find that the police are at his house.
Right, well, off to a poorly defined violent sport in Central Asia then.
We cut to 4 months later and we see ECW founder Paul Heyman playing the English language commentator.
Hey, I get it. Your nipples get hard at the very sight of me, right?
We see the arena where the players are coming out, and the big screens start to chant for Jonathan. So admitting from the start that you've missed the point of the original.
After seeing his hero worship, Marcus explains that John is actually an idiot.
You got your armadillo on? Jesus, you're an idiot. Surge! Dame protector, armadillo. Idiot. You want to be a paraplegic?
I'm sure he's far too talented to be weighed down with mere safety equipment in this violent blood sport.
We then get to see Jonathan talk to his simple fat friend.
Hey, you hang tight up there tonight, okay? You too, Jonathan.
Aw, how sweet. So you know he's gonna die.
And now to Paul Heyman with the rules.
Must first do the rabbit hole. That's that killer tunnel above each bench. Then make one circuit through enemy territory, and then they are eligible to score.
In case you didn't get any of that, it doesn't actually matter, because this is more about stupidity than sport.
The rest of the rules are Russian and complicated.
They start to play and it's so rushed and badly edited that it eventually just cuts to Jonathan having a drink.
Label out. Label out.
Yeah, because it's not like you've been doing this for 4 months already.
Later on we see a fight break out, which is apparently against the rules.
We also see Jean Reno as the obvious bad guy, I mean boss of Rollerball, Alexis Petrovich.
For the people, to keep their heroes alive.
And to keep them gambling, of course.
They also decide to establish that Jonathan is a selfish ball hog.
Finally, we get to something resembling a plot as the simple fat friend gets his helmet knocked off.
For no apparent reason, he gets smacked in the face, which causes an immediate jump in ratings.
Because of this tragedy, Jonathan decides to be near his friend in his time of need, and so, he just goes to beat up the other team.
So your friend is injured in a violent sport, so I'm sure the best course of action is to resort to more violence.
After that tragedy, then being followed by excessive violence, we get the only joke of the film.
Yes, if it's true your mother is a crack whore.
You actually translated that. My mother's a pediatrician.
Да, это правда, но она сейчас чистая.
Jonathan and Marcus are driving to the club, so I guess we can assume that they won and are celebrating.
We then see family man Marcus pick up a couple of floozies, which means I'm not going to be in the least bit upset when he dies.
They meet up with the rest of the team and they toast the fat guy, and then they decide to discuss conspiracy theories.
What are you talking about?
Wishao. Show him. The chin strap's been cut.
Where'd you get this?
Because when I'm masterminding an evil conspiracy, I always leave loads of evidence lying about the place, so anyone with even half a brain can work it out instantly.
Luckily, our hero doesn't even have half a brain, so he goes and talks to Jean Reno about the helmet.
After listening to some crappy excuses from his boss, he goes off for a drive to clear his head, only now after 4 months, wondering why the country is so poor.
Jonathan races off for a tryst with his teammate Aurora.
For some reason, she already knows that the fat guy being injured is part of a conspiracy and just happens to have all the evidence to show Jonathan.
One camera follows the action, and 4 cameras follow a simple-minded boy at the other end of the track. They were called and told to get on him 15 seconds before it happened.
They go off to hunt down her mysterious contact at a TV station, but run into a fight instead.
Let me guess. This isn't your friend Sergey, is it?
Actually it is, but he owes me money.
Later, on a plane to the next match, Jonathan explains to Marcus the story so far.
They get to the match and there's lots more violence. God, this is boring.
We also get to see what a fine and reasonable businessman Jean Renault really is.
I will kill you myself! I will disappear your whole family! Damn you people! You only do business with us! We are on channels 1 through 5! Got it!
Because why would we want a bad guy with a decent, well-motivated plan, or any semblance of ability or cunning?
There's another staged accident, and it finally makes the plot so obvious even Jonathan gets it.
Sooner or later, they're gonna kill somebody. See, that's what I'm talking about. I make more in a season here than I would in 10 years doing people's taxes. They're not gonna let anything happen to us. They need us. So just close your eyes and take the money.
Like a whore.
At the next match, ratings are low, so Jean Renault decides to try and kill Aurora.
Luckily, Marcus is on hand to save her using crappy special effects.
This has the unfortunate side effect of sending Marcus out of the ring, meaning he's now ready to leave as well.
For some reason, all the poor local players have to pool their money together to help the rich Americans escape.
They decide the best plan would be to cross the Russian border.
As they're escaping at night, we switch to night vision.
This would make a lot more sense if one of them was at least wearing night vision goggles. Hell, I'd even accept night glasses at this point.
I can safely say that this is the worst green screen ever.
People start chasing them and they thankfully narrate what's going on, as the night vision makes it very hard to see what's going on.
They eventually get to the border on an old bike, which then gets shot.
So Jean Reno doesn't want them to leave because he needs them alive because they make him a lot of money in his game, but he'll happily shoot at them.
Oh, don't worry, it gets dumber. Marcus, on the bike, tries to jump over the bridge and is killed by an incredible sniper shot.
So Marcus is expendable, but he needs Jonathan to get the cable deal.
Because he really needs Jonathan, he threatens to throw him out of a moving plane. Contract negotiations.
So generic British guy shows up to convince Jonathan to cooperate.
Oh dear boy, you don't imagine you have any secrets, do you?
They stop off at a mine where Jonathan tries to convince Jean Renault that he can be trusted, despite having just witnessed his best friend's murder.
I have to admit, I do like that Jean Renault sees straight through his bull.
Gave me a lot of shit about wanting to become a partner. Just cover to get the girl out. Did you give him that? I thought it was too subtle for him.
That was subtle?
Later that evening, Jonathan goes back to the locker room to prepare for his next match.
I wonder if the team will ask for their money back as he didn't escape.
It's revealed that Aurora has been transferred over to the other team that they're playing against tonight, rather than somewhere safe as was requested.
What's this? The corrupt businessman who will kill people to ensure his success can't be trusted?
So before the game starts, Paul Heyman has some interesting news.
In the final elimination round, normal rules and penalties are to be suspended.
Because I'm sure if you kill someone on live TV, you'll definitely get that American cable deal.
It's revealed that their cunning plan is to gravely injure the one guy they need.
Holy shit, he's wearing spine protection. He knew.
Or maybe he realised, what with all the deliberate injuries and deaths going on, that safety equipment now seems important.
After more poorly edited action, Paul Heyman and the British guy suddenly start to look concerned.
Jonathan tells his team to get off the track so he can be a one-man army just like in the original.
It keeps cutting away to people's faces so they don't have to show exactly how Jonathan gets out of this 4 versus 1 situation.
Because the audience are stupid, one of the players goes over to explain the plot to them.
Unfortunately, the security guard doesn't like spoilers, so he shoots him.
Instead of attacking the security guard, they just start chanting for Jonathan because, well, it was in the original, although the original had a plot.
After killing a guy in a ridiculous fashion, Jonathan picks up the ball for some reason.
So with the arena to himself, he goes around and misses the goal totally, accidentally hitting Jean Reno instead.
This causes a bizarre time-space anomaly where Jean Reno struggles to escape.
This has the added bonus of freezing his security guards, allowing Jonathan to somehow deal with them.
Jean Reno manages to get a shotgun only for Jonathan to block it with a stool.
He bludgeons Jean Reno to death with the stool, while the other players start murdering security guards.
But what about the British guy? Oh.
And so our heroes carry on, brutally murdering people who were just doing their jobs. I love happy endings.
And so the film finally ends with Jonathan as the hero of some kind of revolution. And in conclusion, there are some positives about this. Specifically, the only one that came to mind at first was the costumes. Some of them, specifically the Gold Woman of the other team and Aurora's costume, are pretty cool and would make great superhero costumes in other movies. Another thing I liked quite a lot was Paul Heyman. He actually brings a lot of enthusiasm and charisma to his role, as he from WWE and ECW fame was a really good announcer and could build up people really well. He brings that here, even though he's not really working with much, which kind of goes with his old job as well. And the only other good thing I can think of is Aurora. Despite some slight insecurities about her appearance, and it's just a tiny scar on her face for crying out loud, she's pretty much a badass in this movie. She looks cool in the costume, she seems like a strong, competent hero. I would have preferred this movie if it was about her, if she was leading a revolution behind the scenes of this sport that she hates, but is really good at still.
You are so naive.
Right, well the film is really stupid. It's horrendously badly edited to the point of being really annoying, and it seems like someone made a mistake and this was released a bit too early before someone actually finished editing it. So whenever you have the scenes with the actual sport, as well as the rules not being explained particularly well, with the constant editing you can't make out what's going on, and none of it seems to make sense. If you really knew what you were doing, you could just show us the sport and we could work the rules out for ourselves. It's annoying the way Jean Reno is just evil from the start. If the first thing actually had been an accident and then they'd noticed the ratings increase, you could have seen how a gradual kind of slide in their morality gets them more money and why they carry on with it. Chris Klein is really tedious and dull and bland. He's like a poor man's Keanu Reeves without the charisma. And finally, the main problem that needs to be addressed is the fact that this is actually a remake. A remake of a film that took a dystopian vision of the future, which bizarrely seems more relevant now than when it was made, and instead it's remade into this loud, cheap, tacky, glorifying violence almost to the point of exploitation film that is just really irritating and totally misses the point of the original film. What are you going to do next? Remake A Clockwork Orange but make it about hairdressers? You colossal sand-filled suppurating vagina!
We're out of here.